Hello and welcome, world, to my What If channel. Today we are doing What If Deku Was Nobody. He'll start off as a sort of mid-aged young man, as a hero. He does not have any quirk currently. However, he stacks up to the charts. He started off as a vigilante. However, he made his way up to the top, proving himself to even Endeavor, going even past Endeavor in his prime. He used multitude of traps, different guns, different stun guns, different type of stuff like that. He studied martial arts for almost his whole entire life. He has made a monster out of himself. However, he keeps it all down below. As in white meat instead of red meat. He basically doesn't look like it, alright? He looks like a normal man. How a normal man would. Many ask of this sort of secret quirk. However, he keeps on saying he has none. You don't need a quirk. However, this sort of barrage from the media trying to get the truth out of him sort of sheds a light on him that he did not want, and he hides himself from the media. He starts, coding himself in dark, going out at night, raids, usually cleaning up what other heroes do, defeating villains that nobody else can in different ways than they thought they could, and usually just like stooping people. He's that type of guy. He becomes so good at it, actually, because of his stress and his anxiety. This is his getaway, all right? This is his way of improving himself. This is his hobby. And it becomes such a huge problem for him that he becomes a workaholic. He works so hard that he becomes the top. He becomes one of the top heroes. He's second to One For All. This goes on for many, many years until it comes to All For One's reign. All For One's reign becomes a huge problem for all. It destroys many heroes out of the blue, and one that One For All definitely saw coming, but everybody else was caught by surprise, and thus a lot of people were defeated, including Deku. It was unseen, unforgiving, and very deadly. Basically, he almost got his organs punched out, just like All Might. However, he took it for All Might. He, he was defeated almost instantly. This demoralized him, destroyed his whole worldview about how predictable villains are, and how he was the best. How could this happen to him? And basically destroys him. All the damage, however, could have been revived by the healer lady. However, you can't heal the shatters, the shatters of his heart. All right, the cracks in his heart are still there. He's just defeated, and he goes slowly into retirement after that. He was always never considered a real hero. He was always just on the sidelines. He was never up front, and nobody ever noticed him. However, he was still considered by the league, the people that are down at the Hero Corp, but as number 2. Now Endeavor becomes number 2, and thus we get to the heroes, the new Heroes Association's recruiting, which starts with everything goes the same basically. Buck still gets the same score. However, when Momo, no, it wasn't. It's Uraraka. Uraraka almost gets stomped by the robot. Deku taps All Might's shoulder, which then All Might immediately jumps in and saves Uraraka. All Might looks to him and puts his eyebrow up, and Deku responds in kind, saying that he has some tripwires around here that, say when somebody's in danger, whenever somebody's about to get killed, whenever something is happening, he will know. These sort of things are given to him by the Hero Association. He's been abusing this by putting them all around cities, different places, down alleyways. That's how he works. However, he says all of that with just a look. And All Might is confused as fuck. And the new hero, all the A1 students are chosen. They all go into their classroom, and Deku is instead the one that is sitting there, not Aizawa. He welcomes them in as, a sort of normal teacher would, trying to seem as normal as possible. He tells them about their new school day and how they'll be skipping the starting recession, as the previous teacher reluctantly forced him to make this happen. So we'll be doing it anyways. All the scores are the same. Mineta is unfortunately kicked out. So basically, with that done, we go to the next days. A lot of the class is worried for him. They're like, who is he? They don't know who he is, right? They constantly ask questions. Uraka, Momo, they always try to get, answers out of him. However, he always gets his way out of stuff. And when he's trying to sneak away from the girls, he's constantly being crowded by the guys who want to fight him, which he immediately turns them down. However, one doesn't really want to fight him, Tsukiyomi. He notices this and visits him after classroom, which then he sees that there are bullies that are picking on him, which then he comes up to, Tsukiyomi after class and tells him that, if there's bullies, just don't let them get to you. Don't let their words affect you. Just walk away, kid. And Tsukiyomi looks to him and looks down and says, I know that. He's like, well, I saw you clench your hand. Kid, I'm not a fool. Tsukiyomi's like, right, sir. Damn, old geezer. He's slick. He basically slips in a voice recorder inside of his backpack while that happens. And then the day comes. He keeps on telling Tsukiyomi to, just ignore them. A lot of his students, he tells them to ignore them. And they also go into much harsher training, much more, stealthy training, all that type of stuff. Instead of studying. He actually doesn't want them to study as much as they do regularly. He actually has them training a lot faster, as he knows what has defeated him, what is coming. He wants to train them more. As such, they'll be more prepared. All Might does stop by the classroom, of course. Anyways, on to the next sort of season. This is still the first season. Basically, they go to the UA. Basically, they have all their stuff on. The hero versus villains sort of thing, which it goes over just differently. Like, basically, Uraka is paired up with Tomura, right? Not Tomura. What the fuck am I saying? Tomura. Fucking Ice and Fire guy, right? And I would say Ice and Fire actually wins, because he would just straight up freeze the whole entire building and then, melt through the left top of it and bring Uraka with him to float Ida if he ever gets out of the ice, which he doesn't. Bakugo is too late to get out of the ice, and heroes win. So, yeah, that's about it. Pretty boring, but to be honest, he's really, really overpowered right now, all right? Very overpowered. So the next thing happens. They go to UA now. This is the UA. And they all get their hero costumes on. Deku actually doesn't have a hero costume on. He just wears black. Not really even a mask, ever. He doesn't really wear a mask. He doesn't need to. He just wears his office clothes with black on them. They're like, wow, very, very original. He's like, well, back in the day, you should have seen my costume. It had a mask on it. They're like, really? Same suit and tie? He was like, yep. What, is that wrong? They're like, oh my god. He's like, this dude, is he really trying to teach us kids with quirks? Alright, whatever. He's like, so as you can see behind me, and then immediately the portal opens. He turns his back, not surprised at all, actually, as Shigaraki starts coming out of the portal with Tomura right behind him. Tomura starts doing his sort of, his whole speech thingy. And then he signals for everybody to start marching as suddenly the Nomu starts coming out of the portal behind him. The Nomu is actually stopped because Tomura, before that can happen, a landmine is triggered by one of the minions in front of him, blowing the minion and him halfway to hell. Tomura is flinged across the stadium and then causes Shigaraki to have to, catch him with a portal and bring him back. However, he is deadly injured. I mean, Shigaraki almost got caught in the blast himself. So, basically, Shigaraki and Tomura now look up to see Deku sort of smirking a little bit, looking down at them, sort of how a god would, sort of lording that power of omnipotence that he seems to have over them. He loves to sulk in this power. However, he makes no face, as he only turns a blind eye towards those who are weaker than him. He's benevolent like that. As he looks down upon them, he sort of, from the top of the hill, he opens up a crate, which starts rolling, dumbbells down the hill that they were, down to the hill that was the slope, and it starts launching straight at the enemies. However, Shigaraki opens up his hands, trying to teleport all the students. Deku starts rushing straight at Shigaraki, and fails because of Tomura. Tomura immediately gets in front of Shigaraki and tries to, get Deku, and almost gets him. I mean, he makes his shirt crumble away. That's about it. But, he dodges around him and hooks Tomura's arm around him, underneath him, and, locks it into place, locking Tomura permanently. As long as he holds that arm, he can, basically break it whenever he wants to. However, Shigaraki teleports them into the sky, which then, as they're falling, Deku and Tomura are fighting. All the students sort of start fighting their own battles as when they were teleported away and shit. Tomura, however, is still battling with himself. Shigaraki opens up a portal, trying to punch Deku out of the sky. However, Deku grabs onto his arm. As Shigaraki pulls back, he pulls Deku out of the portal, and then Deku punches Shigaraki straight to the ground, which then he almost steps on top of his keychain. However, then Tomura falls from the sky, this time for real, falling straight onto Deku, and then thrusts his hand at his face. However, is stopped by, if he inhales that, if he takes it, he'll gain the power to defeat any villain that comes across him. That's prime All Might. And I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you all have a lovely day. See you sometime, somewhere. Goodbye, my world.